You can read the slide. Despite their demonstrated practical usefulness, both Myers and Whipple's index have some minor theoretical defects. It is not possible to formulate the precise theoretical conditions under each. Whipple's index would be exactly 100 and Myers index exactly 0. And ingenious method developed by Bachi avoid this defect because the computation of Bachi's index is somewhat more laborious than Myers method. No detailed example in given in this manual. Bachi's method consists in principle in repetitive application of Whipple's method to determine the relative preference given to each of the 10 terminal digits. If the age range is suitably select, very near 10% of all persons with at age range should be expected at ages with each terminal digit for theoretical reasons as well as to satisfy practical requirements. The average of total numbers in two age ranges must be related to the number of person reporting with these ranges. The average with the particular terminal digit, the following relations are then established. Yeah. I'm not gonna do any calculations with Bachi's method. So you can read these all step leisurely at home. And the United Nations Secretariat method. Okay, let's move to that one. Okay, this method consists essentially in the computation of sex ratio and age ratio for 5-year age group ages up to age 70. In the case of sex ratio, successive differences between one age group and the next are noted and their average is taken irrespective of sign. In the case of age ratios, for either sex, deviation from 100 are noted and averaged irrespective of sign. 3 times the average of sex ratio difference in then added to the two averages of deviations of age ratio from 100 to compute the index. This procedure illustrates with Turkey's data in the table. So this is the table. Then what you have age sex data set here. I will remove the scale from the presentation for a while. Yes, then yeah, then this is the ratio, analysis of sex ratio. Then this one, analysis of age ratio and analysis of age ratio is for the male. This is for the female. Okay. You can see when we consider all together these two, we can we have an observation for the first observation. In the other case, we miss the first observation. Okay. Now it's time to you to make these calculations. Then how many intervals we have? 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Okay. Let's calculate the sex ratio. Start to calculate that one. Calculate sex ratio. I am first about this one. Try to complete this column. You have all values here, but you need to practice to calculate those things with the new data set. As an example, we can conduct that one here. you need to divide this value by the female value and multiply it by the 100. That's the way of taking ratio.
Excuse me, madam.
Hello? Yes.
Madam, මෙච්චර වෙලාවක් කියපුද කිසිම දෙයක් නැහුන්නේ නැහැ madam.
මම දැන් තමයි අතට පටන් ගත්තේ. මම කිව්වේ මේ ෆස්ට් කොලම් එක කම්ප්ලීට් කරපු අයට ඊළඟ කොලම් එක හදන්න කියලා මමත් ඔයා කතා කරන තමයි දැක්කේ මම කියලා. හරි. Now I'm explaining the way of calculating the next step. Then that's for the analysis of age ratio for the males. Then how we take value for this column, we need to divide the second observation by the first observation. So we need to the second observation, we need to divide the second observation with the immediate first one. So when we are coming to the third one, you should divide by the second one likewise. So I am writing the way of have the 104.9 84 46 divided by 1 2 8 6 7 0 5 and we should multiply it by the 100. So that's the way of having that value, and it is the way is common for the female one either. You can follow the same step for this one, and finally in here we need to take the deviation from 100. After completing this one, we need to reduce 100 from this each value. Then you will have pluses and minuses here. So we are not considering absolute values here. So you need to take the sign of that remain balance into this column. You need to check whether it's plus or minus. Okay, try to complete these all. And please, I couldn't mention this one. The last column we have ignored because at the very beginning I stated that we are considering under the United Nations Secretariat method, we consider the age up to 70. So the last column is about 70 to 75. So we do not consider that one. We take only other columns. You need to keep that point in your mind. Okay, you can complete these things leisurely. Then I will teach you how to get the final answer. After completing this successive, I will use some different color. Yes. Then after completing this ratios for the sex ratios, you need to take the successive different. Then how to get successive different? You need to reduce first observation from the next one. In here, you need to reduce 108.6 from 108.5. So 108.5 minus 108.6, you will have the difference in between those two as minus 0.1. In this step, you need to reduce 108.5 from the 119.6. Then 119.6 minus 108.5, that is plus 11.1 different. Like in this way, you need to calculate all values to here. And finally, you can take the total with the irrespective of sign. Then there are altogether 13 observations here, because we don't have last one and the first one. Then if you need to divide this value, the total, by 13, then you will have the average as 15 for this case, analysis of sex ratio. Then you can move to the analysis of sex ratio for the male. Then in here, we are not taking the successive differences. Here they are taking deviation from 100. So we can reduce 100 from these all value. Then you will have values in this column. Then you can add up all these things in here, and you can take the average. And here also the same way, division from the 100, and you can add up those all and divide it by this value. Finally, you can add these three together. No, give me a minute. It has explained here how to calculate index. 3 times mean difference of sex ratio. You need to multiply this by 3. And plus mean deviation of male and female. Then we need to plus these two into there. We need to multiply 15 by 3, and we can add these two into there. Then you will have the value as 87.6. That's the way of having an index for the United Nations Secretariat method for computing age accuracy index. Then this is the key. Degree of accuracy of age reporting using the United Nations age sex accuracy index. Then you will have an answer for your calculations. If that answer was below 20, that says the category are the age reportings are accurate. Then if you have an answer in between 20 and 40, that say it's inaccurate. If you have a value greater than 4, that says it's highly inaccurate. So with our calculated value, we can summarize that we are having highly inaccurate data set. So this data set is about Turkey. So that's at misreported data set. This method, unlike one distributed above, is applicable where single year age data are not available. So the specialty in here, we can use this kind of a method. The situations we are not having single year age distribution. So we have age groups here. So we can find the age reporting accuracy for the group data also by using this index. So in previous two cases, we needed single year age distribution. So that is an advantage in this technique. The resulting index is not very exact and should be regraded as an order of magnitude rather than a precise measurement. Various limitations must be borne in mind when applying this method. Exceptions must be allowed for in the case of irregularities arising in certain age group as a result of real disturbances of the population trend due to such factors as causality. Causality is temporary, then the remain part is in the next slide. Causality is temporary birth defects or migrate movements involving mainly certain age sex group. For small population, the measurement is also affected by chance fluctuations. The present example, however, illustrated an advantageous use of the method. The population of Turkey is large enough to permit neglecting any effect of change fluctuations. Moreover, error in age statement are sufficiently pronounced to overshadow whatever real irregularities of age structure may have exist. Okay, there are more informations. You can read this leisurely. The United Nations Credit method has the advantage over the method of Vippers and Myers and Barchi that the index which is obtained is affected by differential omissions of person in various age group from the census count and by uh, tentative age misstatement as well as by digit preference and is therefore more truly a reflection of general accuracy of the age statistic. Also, it provides an indication of accuracy of the data in the form in which they are used for most purposes, that is in age group rather than single years. The methods applied to date by single year of age may in some cases show a fairly large amount of age misstatement, which has little influence on the group data. Okay, this is the end of this handout. Then